Echoes of Mars. Part 1. The Discovery. The crimson dust of Mars swirled around the habitat domes, casting a ruddy haze over the bustling colony. Humanity's foothold on the red planet had grown from a handful of brave pioneers to a thriving settlement. Sleek rovers crisscrossed the landscape, connecting the various research outposts and living quarters spread across the Gale crater. Dr. Elena Ramirez stood at the edge of the dig site, her eyes fixed on the latest find. As the chief archaeologist of the Martian Historical Initiative, she had uncovered many artifacts from the planet's past, but this discovery was different. Buried beneath layers of regolith and ice, her team had unearthed a structure that defied all previous understanding of Martian history. "It's astonishing," Elena murmured, her breath fogging up the inside of her helmet. "The architecture. It suggests a level of sophistication we've never seen before." Her colleague, Dr. Samir Patel, nodded beside her. "And the inscriptions? They appear to be a form of proto-writing. It could take months, even years, to decode them." Elena's mind raced with the possibilities. The structure, a large hexagonal edifice adorned with intricate carvings, was unlike anything they had previously encountered. It hinted at an advanced civilization that had flourished long before humanity had even dreamed of space travel. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the Martian landscape, the team gathered their tools and prepared to head back to the main habitat. Elena lingered for a moment, her gaze lingering on the enigmatic structure. She felt a strange sense of connection to it, as if the stones themselves were whispering secrets of a forgotten age. The following morning, Elena's team reconvened at the site. The early light bathed the hexagonal structure in a soft golden glow. Elena's fingers danced over a control panel on her tablet, summoning a swarm of drones to map and scan the edifice in high detail. "Let's start with the outer perimeter," she instructed, her voice steady but tinged with excitement. "We need to document every inch of this place." As the drones began their work, Elena and Samir focused on a series of glyphs etched into the stone. They appeared to depict scenes of life on ancient Mars, figures engaged in agriculture, construction, and what seemed to be ritualistic ceremonies. "These glyphs," Samir said, pointing to a particularly elaborate sequence, "they remind me of early Sumerian cuneiform. Look at the way they're grouped. It's almost as if they're telling a story." Elena nodded. "A story, or perhaps a record. If we can decode these, we might learn more about who these Martians were and how they lived." Hours passed as they meticulously documented the carvings, sending high-resolution images back to their labs for further analysis. As the day wore on, Elena's tablet beeped with an incoming message from the colony's central hub. "Dr. Ramirez, we have something you need to see," came the voice of Dr. Marcus Liang, the lead scientist at the central hub. "We've been analyzing the initial scans from your site, and there's an anomaly beneath the structure. You should come back immediately." Elena's curiosity was piqued. She quickly relayed the message to her team, and they packed up their equipment, making their way back to the habitat. At the central hub, Dr. Liang greeted them with a sense of urgency. "Elena, Samir, take a look at this." He led them to a large display screen, where a 3D model of the hexagonal structure rotated slowly. Highlighted in blue was a cavity beneath the structure, previously hidden from their scans by a thick layer of ice and rock. "It appears to be a chamber," Liang explained. "We ran a thermal analysis, and there are faint heat signatures coming from within. Whatever is down there, it's still active." Elena's mind raced. An active chamber beneath an ancient structure? The implications were staggering. "We need to get down there," she said, determination stealing her voice. "Whatever is in that chamber, it could be the key to understanding this civilization." Excavating the entrance to the hidden chamber took several days of meticulous work. The team used advanced laser cutters and micro-drones to carefully remove the debris without damaging the structure. Finally, the path was clear. Elena and Samir, equipped with advanced life support suits, stood at the entrance. A soft, pulsating glow emanated from within, casting eerie shadows on the walls. "Ready?" Samir asked, his voice barely a whisper over the comms. Elena nodded, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and excitement. Together, they stepped into the chamber. The interior was unlike anything they had expected. The walls were lined with crystalline structures that emitted a gentle bioluminescent light. In the center of the room stood a pedestal, atop which rested a spherical device about the size of a soccer ball. It pulsed with a soft, rhythmic light, almost as if it were alive. Elena approached the pedestal, her eyes wide with wonder. "What is this?" she breathed. Samir scanned the device with his handheld analyzer. "It's emitting a faint electromagnetic field. I think it's some kind of interface." Elena reached out, her fingers brushing the surface of the sphere. Samir took an intake of breath and looked as if she was going to prevent her, but they had come too far to stop now. As she made contact, the light intensified, and the room was suddenly filled with a low hum. The crystalline structures on the walls began to resonate, their light synchronizing with the sphere. "Elena, I think you activated it," Samir said, his voice filled with awe. Before she could respond, a holographic display projected from the sphere, filling the room with complex symbols and images. Scenes of a vibrant Martian civilization came to life before their eyes: cities, landscapes, and most intriguingly, depictions of Earth. "Samir, look at this," Elena said, pointing to a series of images showing Earth and Mars connected by beams of light. "It's as if they had a direct link to our planet." Samir's eyes widened. "This could rewrite everything we know about the history of Mars and Earth. If these civilizations were connected, it suggests a level of interplanetary cooperation we never imagined." Elena's mind raced with the implications. "We need to decipher these images. If this technology shows a connection between Mars and Earth, it could mean that humanity's origins are far more intertwined with Mars than we ever thought." Back at the habitat, the team worked around the clock to decode the holographic projections. The more they uncovered, the more it became clear that the ancient Martians possessed technology far beyond their own. The images depicted not only communication with Earth, but also the exchange of knowledge and resources. "We've always believed that life on Mars ended long before humanity rose on Earth," Elena said during a briefing with the colony leaders. "But these findings suggest a different narrative. It seems that the Martians and early humans might have coexisted, or at least interacted, in ways we never imagined." Governor Mitchell, the head of the Martian colony, leaned forward, his expression thoughtful. "If what you're saying is true, it could have profound implications for our understanding of both planets. We need to proceed carefully." Elena nodded. "Agreed. Our next step should be to explore the chamber further and see if there are any additional records or technologies. We need to understand the full extent of this connection before telling anyone of our findings." As the meeting adjourned, Elena felt a mix of excitement and apprehension. The discoveries they had made were groundbreaking, but they also raised more questions than answers. What had happened to the Martian civilization? Why had their connection with Earth been lost? And what role did this ancient technology play in the history of both planets? Back at the dig site, Elena and her team prepared for another descent into the chamber. Equipped with advanced scanning tools and a renewed sense of purpose, they descended into the glowing depths once more. This time, they focused on the walls, where the crystalline structures seemed to pulse with a rhythm that felt almost alive. Samir theorized that the crystals could be some form of data storage, encoding the knowledge of the ancient Martians. As they scanned the walls, new images and symbols emerged, revealing more about the Martian society. They saw depictions of grand ceremonies, scientific achievements, and, most intriguingly, a series of symbols that seemed to indicate a great cataclysm. "It looks like they faced some kind of disaster," Samir said, pointing to an image of crumbling cities and fleeing figures. "But what caused it?" Elena's eyes were drawn to a final sequence of symbols. They depicted Martians placing objects into the ground, followed by beams of light reaching out towards the stars. They were trying to preserve their knowledge, Elena realized. They knew something was coming, and they wanted to ensure their legacy survived. Samir's face lit up with understanding. "And that legacy is what we've just uncovered. The chamber, the sphere, the crystals, it's all part of their attempt to communicate with the future. As they continued to decode the symbols, a sense of awe settled over the team. They were not just uncovering the history of an ancient civilization, they were piecing together a story that spanned millennia and connected two worlds in ways they had never imagined. Elena's mind buzzed with the implications. The technology they had discovered, the hints of a symbiotic relationship between Earth and Mars, it all pointed to a new understanding of humanity's origins. As they stood in the ancient chamber, surrounded by the echoes of a long-lost civilization, they knew that their journey was just beginning. In the depths of Mars, the past and the future had converged, and the true story of humanity was waiting to be told. Part 2. The Cataclysm. The colony buzzed with excitement as news of the discovery spread. The Martian Historical Initiative's findings captivated not only the scientists and engineers on Mars, but also people across Earth. The images and symbols decoded from the chamber hinted at a profound connection between the two planets, challenging the very foundations of human history. In the days following their initial descent into the chamber, Elena Ramirez and her team worked tirelessly to uncover more secrets. Every scan and analysis revealed new layers of information about the ancient Martians and their relationship with Earth. The sphere, now dubbed the Martian Interface, continued to project intricate holographic displays, each more tantalizing than the last. One evening, as the team huddled around a large display screen in their research lab, Samir's eyes widened as he decoded a new sequence of symbols. "Elena, look at this," he said, pointing to the screen. "These symbols, they seem to describe a technology that allowed for instantaneous communication between Mars and Earth. It's some form of quantum entanglement." Elena leaned in, her heart racing. Quantum entanglement? If they had that kind of technology, it would mean they were capable of communicating across vast distances instantaneously. Samir nodded. And that's not all. This sequence also suggests they had a method of transferring energy between the planets. They weren't just communicating, they were sharing resources. Elena's mind reeled with the implications. This changes everything. If the ancient Martians had this technology, it means they were far more advanced than we ever imagined. And it also raises the question, what happened to them? As they continued to decode the symbols, a clearer picture began to emerge. The ancient Martians had developed a symbiotic relationship with Earth, exchanging knowledge and resources to benefit both civilizations. But then, something had gone terribly wrong. The cataclysm depicted in the holograms hinted at a disaster that had severed this connection. Days turned into weeks as the team painstakingly pieced together the story of the Martian civilization. Meanwhile, Dr. Marcus Leung led a parallel investigation into the potential applications of the Martian technology. The idea of harnessing quantum entanglement for communication and energy transfer was tantalizing, and the implications for humanity were enormous. One evening, as the team gathered in the central hub for a progress update, Dr. Leung shared his findings. "We've been able to replicate some of the principles behind the Martian technology," he announced. "It's still in the early stages, but we believe we can develop a prototype for instantaneous communication between Mars and Earth." The room buzzed with excitement. The prospect of bridging the gap between the two planets in real time was nothing short of revolutionary. Elena, however, remained focused on the historical implications. "We need to understand what caused the disaster that ended their civilization," she said. "If we can learn from their mistakes, we might be able to avoid a similar fate." One morning, as Elena reviewed the latest scans from the chamber, a new sequence of symbols caught her eye. They depicted a series of celestial events, planetary alignments, solar flares, and a comet approaching Mars. The symbols suggested that these events had triggered the cataclysm. "Samir, take a look at this," she called. "I think these celestial events played a role in their downfall." Samir studied the symbols, his brow furrowing. "It looks like they were aware of the approaching comet. They tried to prepare for it, but something went wrong. I would think, with their advanced technology, they would be able to prevent such a disaster." Elena's eyes widened as she realized the significance. The comet, what if it wasn't just a natural disaster? What if it was part of a larger cosmic event that disrupted their technology? As they delved deeper into the holographic records, they discovered that the comet had indeed triggered a catastrophic chain reaction. The Martian civilization had relied heavily on their advanced technology, and when the comet disrupted their systems, it led to widespread devastation. Their reliance on quantum entanglement and energy transfer made them vulnerable, Elena said, her voice tinged with sadness. When the comet disrupted their technology, it caused a collapse they couldn't recover from. Samir nodded solemnly. It's a stark reminder of the dangers of over-reliance on technology. We need to be cautious as we explore these advancements. Meanwhile, the colony's efforts to develop a prototype for instantaneous communication continued. Dr. Liang and his team made significant progress, building on the principles encoded in the Martian Interface. They constructed a device capable of establishing a quantum entanglement link between Mars and Earth. The day of the first test arrived, and the central hub was filled with a sense of anticipation. Elena, Samir, and the rest of the team gathered around as Dr. Liang prepared to activate the device. "Here we go," he said, his fingers hovering over the control panel. Establishing link in 3, 2, 1. A soft hum filled the room as the device powered up. The holographic display flickered to life, showing a real-time image of mission control on Earth. Cheers erupted from both sides as the communication link was successfully established. Elena watched in awe as the images and sounds from Earth came through with perfect clarity. It was a historic moment that no one would forget, a testament to the ingenuity of both the ancient Martians and modern humanity. But even as the celebrations continued, Elena's mind remained focused on the larger questions. What had driven the ancient Martians to develop such advanced technology? And why had their efforts to prepare for the comet failed so catastrophically? Late one night, as Elena pored over the holographic records once more, she noticed a sequence of symbols she had overlooked before. They depicted a group of Martians standing around a large circular portal. The portal pulsed with energy, and through it, she could see a distant, alien landscape. "Samir, come look at this," she called, her voice tinged with excitement. Samir hurried over, his eyes widening as he saw the images. "Is that a portal? Do you think they had the ability to travel to other worlds?" Elena nodded, her mind racing. "It looks like it. This could be the key to understanding their civilization. If they were exploring other worlds, it might explain why they developed such advanced technology." As they continued to study the symbols, a new theory began to take shape. The Martians had been explorers, driven by a desire to understand the cosmos. Their technology had enabled them to travel to other planets and perhaps even other star systems. But their ambitious endeavors had also made them vulnerable to cosmic events. Armed with this new understanding, Elena and her team prepared for another expedition to the chamber. This time, they aimed to find the portal depicted in the holograms. If they could uncover the technology behind it, it could open up new possibilities for humanity. As they descended into the chamber once more, the air was thick with anticipation. They followed the symbols to a hidden alcove where they discovered a large circular structure embedded in the wall. It matched the portal depicted in the holograms, its surface covered in intricate carvings. "Let's get this scanned and analyzed," Elena said, her voice trembling with excitement. "This could be the breakthrough we've been looking for." As they worked to uncover the secrets of the portal, the sense of connection between Mars and Earth grew stronger. The ancient Martians had left behind a legacy of exploration and discovery, and it was now up to humanity to continue their journey. Back at the central hub, Dr. Liang and his team integrated the findings from the portal into their research. The potential for interplanetary travel, combined with the advancements in quantum entanglement, opened up new frontiers for both science and exploration. Elena stood at the edge of the dig site, gazing up at the Martian sky. The journey they had embarked on was far from over, but the echoes of the past had illuminated a path to the future. As humanity reached out to the stars, the ancient Martians' legacy would guide them, reminding them of the boundless potential of exploration and the importance of understanding the delicate balance between technology and nature. In the depths of Mars, the past and the future had converged, and the true story of humanity was beginning to unfold. Hi everyone! This is a debut short story release on my trial playlist. Thank you for letting me share this with you. If you are interested in seeing more content with additional features and accuracy, please hit those subscribe and like buttons. I hope you are having a great day, and I will see you next time.